Welcome, everybody, on this Monday evening to the Franchise Sports Podcast. I'm joined in the studio by Bray and Zach. NBA trades have been on the rise lately, and we're going to talk about some of them. How are you doing today, Zach?
Doing very good. I'm very happy to see DeMarcus Cousins go to the Pelicans, and I'm really hoping for Jimmy Butler to go to the Celtics. I'm really hoping to hear that later today or just before the trade deadline.
Bray, what are you up to today?
I'm doing very good, just looking at that Cousins trade as well. It was a pretty good trade for the Pelicans.
Okay, let's get this debate session underway. We're going to go earlier in the year. Kyle Korver, a three-point monster to the Cleveland Cavaliers. How has that worked out so far? What are your guys' opinions?
I feel like that was a great trade for the Cavs. They were missing J.R. Smith, so I feel like he really stepped up and took his place. Kyle Korver is just an amazing shooter and probably one of the best three-point shooters ever. So I feel like it was a great idea for the Cavs to get that missing piece that they needed.
Bray, you see Korver as a missing piece? I'm going to let you go before me this time.
Yes, they did have J.R. Smith out. That was a pretty good trade by them. He is a good shooter. He can catch that ball and shoot it. He's a pretty fast release, and he's really good at the three-point.
Do you think J.R. and Korver is a big difference?
I think Korver is probably a little better.
The man's number 7 all-time in three-pointers. He's a little better?
JR is still a really good three-point shooter, don't get me wrong. Korver is just better. He is better. Don't get me wrong. Korver is better. JR is still good.
Zach, what are your thoughts on this right now, Zach?
Okay, I think I know what Bray means. He just means that Kyle Korver is definitely a better player. I mean, he has made an all-star game recently over the past 4 or 5 years, I'm pretty sure, with the Hawks. So Kyle Korver is definitely a better player than JR, and he definitely has a better shot.
Kyle Korver, when JR comes back, he's going to do the same exact things that he already does. I think JR and Korver on opposite sides of the perimeter are going to be great shooters overall. I just think that Kyle Korver is in a whole different league than J.R. Smith. I can't even get started on that right now. We're just going to have to move into the next topic. Another trade that went down, Serge Ibaka to the Raptors. What's up with Serge Ibaka lately? I mean, he was on the Thunder, then was it the Magic, and now he's on the Raptors. Could this guy just land the job already? Is he going to go all around the globe? What are you guys' thoughts on Serge Ibaka to the Raptors?
Serge Ibaka is a very good defensive player.
If he's that good, though, why do these teams keep giving up on him? I just don't understand this guy. He's like a mystery.
Maybe none of these teams know he's that good of a defensive player. He did pretty good on the Thunder. I think that he can make the Raptors a better team. They probably will make the conference finals, but they probably will lose to the Cavs.
You're telling me Serge Ibaka to the Raptors makes him a conference finals competitor over the Celtics automatically?
Well, last year they did make it without him, and with him they're just making him better.
Zach, I know you're a Celtic fan, Zach. What are your thoughts on him saying the Raptors over the Celtics right now?
I don't know. The Celtics are the second seed right now in the East. So I feel like right now they should be put into the conference finals with the Cavs because they are the second seed.
No, that's the Raptors right there. First of all, the Raptors last year beat them without Ibaka, and you're saying that he's a good defensive player, so that's only making them better.
Yes, but this year the Celtics are doing phenomenal.
Isaiah is a whole different player this year. You got to realize that also. Continue, Zach. You got to realize that.
Nothing.
Okay, the Celtics have been on a roll lately. Al Horford has been knocking down lately. He's just like an all-around player this year. Assists, rebounds, a little bit of some points. Isaiah Thomas is 5th in MVP voting right now. I feel like the Celtics definitely should be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
No. They beat him last year without Ibaka. What thinks they're not going to beat him with him? They're just making him better, okay? Yes, Isaiah's got better. Al Horford, he's okay. Don't overrate the guy. He averaged 14 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists.
Do you guys see Serge Ibaka as better than Valanciunas right now? Do you see him joining him with DeRozan and Lowry in the big three? Or do you think that Valanciunas still has? Because he's having a great year so far, Valanciunas. I don't know about it. But what are you guys' thoughts on that?
I think Eunice is probably better right now, but Ibaka's just got to make his place on the team.
Does Ibaka contribute in the point value? How much? I could see him being a guy who could put up maybe like 16 a game on that team. Because with Lowry and DeRozan a high scorer, high shooter. I can't see him putting more than like 16 a game. How much do you think he contributes?
I think Ibaka, I would say lower than that. I think only like 10 points a game out of Ibaka.
Not even 16? 10?
Yeah, he's more of a defensive player. He doesn't really score that much. And especially with DeMar DeRozan, who's a very high scorer, and also Lowry, who averages like 20 points a game, I feel like he's only like a 10 points per game kind of guy.
Okay, well, with DeRozan and Lowry, 10 points is pretty good. Like, you're saying he's a defensive player. They have 2 offensive stars, so, I mean, you at least got to have one defensive guy. Like, you can't just everyone's be good at offense and then no one's at defense. Like, defense can win you games, too. If you don't got defense, you can't win.
So Ibaka, the trade overall, is it a plus or is it a minus? We'll just go around real quick.
It's definitely a plus. It's going to make them better, especially on defense. As you said, he is very good at defense. He can definitely make them better. I think they're going to make it to the conference championship. But then again, he's not going to make them better than the Cavs this year. But I just think it is a plus.
Zach, plus or minus?
I'm going to say a plus, but I don't think it's too high of a plus. I feel like the trade's a little bit overrated. Like, Ibaka is a pretty good player. Like, he has some great defense. But he's a little bit overrated, so I feel like it is a plus, but not as high as a plus as people are saying.
Ibaka, you guys keep talking about the guy's defense. Why is he making these all-team defense teams at the end of the year? I don't see his defense being I think his defense is getting way overrated right now. I just don't see Ibaka as a great player overall. If he's so good, he wouldn't be moving from city to city. The guy he's a train wreck right now. Speaking about train wrecks, we're going to move over to DeMarcus Cousins. He was promised a spot in Sacramento. He was supposed to sign a $207 million contract extension with the team after the trade deadline. And they just they let him stay in New Orleans after the All-Star game. What are your thoughts on that? How big of a low blow is that?
I think for the Kings, that was probably not the best trade for them, but for the Pelicans, that is a snag. They didn't give up too much on that trade, and it will be a good trade if he stays and signs a high contract for the Pelicans. But, I mean, the Kings, they're probably trying to look to rebuild, but I would still keep Cousins and probably try to trade for someone else.
I mean, giving up a second-round pick, Buddy Hield, their first-round pick this year, 2 more first-round picks in the future, not giving up a lot. Tyreek Evans, Langston Galloway, not giving up a lot. I mean, I don't know. I'm a Pelicans fan. DeMarcus, he's a great player, but we already have Anthony Davis. We already have the low post side of the ball. We need shooters. I don't know why. I love Cousins. I think he's going to be a great fit maybe if him and Davis learn how to spread the ball a little more, but we have a guy down low. Why are we going for more people down low? Zach, do you agree with me right now?
I think I do agree with you, but I also do think that DeMarcus Cousins will help out the team. He is one of the best big men in the league.
But that's when he's by himself. Now he has Anthony Davis. They're both top 5 scorers right now. Now he's going to have to spread the ball a little more. Is he still going to be that good?
I feel like both their numbers are going to go down a little bit, but overall it'll make the Pelicans even better. So I feel like it is a good trade, but it would have been better if they did get a shooter because they already do have Anthony Davis, who is one of the best big men in the league.
I do agree with that. It is a good trade. Like, it is a pretty good trade for the Pelicans getting now 2 big guys, like one of the best big guys. So their down low is going to be great. But yes, it would have been better if they did get like a pure shooter, perimeter shooter, to make them even better because they already do have Davis.
Okay, so DeMarcus Cousins, we don't sign him long term. If the Pelicans don't sign him long term, this trade is just a disaster because the future's gone for that young team now, and they just dropped the guy who they just gave up their future for. They're trying to race to the future right now by getting him this early. It could be smart. We'll just have to see how it plays out, I guess. But do you think that giving up all that was better to get Cousins, or would it be rather better to get a guy like Butler or George out of those two? Another 2 names who are on the trade deadline.
And it definitely would have been better to get someone like Butler or George, just because they already have Anthony Davis. He's an all-star.
You were just saying before that it's better to have two big men now.
No, I'm saying it's good to have two big men, but now it probably would have been better to have a shooter.
Okay.
They already have Anthony Davis. Like, it's a good trade, but it would have been better if they got a shooter.
I mean, it doesn't hurt to bring in DeMarcus Cousins, but do you just think it's better to get one of these two guys?
Yes, it's definitely better to get a shooter like Jimmy Butler, Paul George, because they do have Anthony Davis, and they just need one of those main shooters. They have like a main down low guy. Now they need someone who can bring up the ball and shoot.
Okay. I do agree with Bray on this one. I feel like it would have been really good if they got Butler. He has been playing very good lately, and there has been some real beef in Chicago lately. So I feel like Butler would have been a good choice for the Pelicans. But you can't go wrong with DeMarcus Cousins right now. Now they have the first and second best big men in the league. So
I think you can go wrong with him, because if they don't sign him for a long term, then they're screwed, because they basically just gave up all like a decent amount for nothing. And also if Davis is getting like all the stuff and the stats, and Cousins is basically doing nothing down there, and there's no point of him. Davis is already like an all-star down there. I mean, they probably shouldn't have got him, but it is a good trade to make down low way better. But like now, they really need a shooter.
Okay, Paul George, great player. I just don't see him as... I don't even think he's a really great... I don't think he's a superstar. I think he's a good player. He's not a superstar. He's not a great shooter. He's not. You've seen him the last couple of games, and even in the All-Star game, he was 0 for 8 yesterday. No one's playing him. He was 0 for 8 on three-pointers, I think, and no one was even playing him. He's not a great scorer. He was 3 for 19 game before the All-Star game. I think he was 3 for 18 the game before that. He's really not great at scoring, and that's what the Pelicans need right now. That's why I think Cousins would have been better. Jimmy Butler on the other side, I think he would have been a better fit than Cousins because he's a good scorer. But the rumors for Cousins were... There was no rumors for Pelicans to get Butler. I just didn't see the team to get him. Cousins, they were supposed to get him. It was either Cousins or George, I think, and I think they made the right choice with Cousins. You guys want to pitch in on that? I don't know. That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, I do see what you're saying, that Cousins could be a pretty good shooter, and he can be a good scorer. I mean, that could have been actually the better trade, but he can get rebounds, assists, and points. He can contribute that to the young Pelican team, and it could have been pretty smart to get a shooter because they already have Davis. But Cousins can score. I can agree with you on that. He can score and get rebounds.
So are the Pelicans now, are they going to make you guys think they'll hit the 8 seed? Or there's not really a lot of game left. They're going to have to go on a pretty big run. You think they could develop that quick and hit an 8 seed?
No, I think he's going to have to try to, get the groove of the team. And, I really don't think there's enough games to really come back. They're not one of those teams like the Warriors who's going to win 23 in a row, then lose one. That was just phenomenal on the Warriors' part, but
I disagree with the machine. I think that the Pelicans are a great team. They're only a couple games out, and I think if they put on a good run, maybe a 7-1, 7-2 win streak, they have a lot of home games coming up, they could easily hit that 8 seed. Right now it's a disaster for that 8 seed. Okay, so overall, is that trade a plus or is it a minus?
I think it is a plus because these following reasons. Cousins can score. He can rebound. He does have good defense. That's just making those down low guys very good. If someone tries to drive, their defense will probably end up swatting them or they'll not get the best shot off. Their defense down low will be great. They just need a shooter now.
Okay, I'll agree with you, Bray. I feel like it is definitely a plus right now. For this season and next season, it'll be a plus. Just because Buddy Hield isn't looking like the player that the Pelicans were looking for before, and Tyreek Evans isn't too good. Obviously, Langston Galloway, nothing special. So, and DeMarcus Cousins is obviously an elite big man. So, I feel like it's definitely a plus right now. Hopefully, the Pelicans will make the playoffs and slide into the 7th or 8th seed. And definitely a plus on my part.
All right, Brad, I just want to go back to what you said. You keep talking about Cousins and Davis going to be good defense. They're two of the top 7 scorers in the NBA. They're scoring the ball. Why do you only think they're good for defense right now?
I said Cousins can score. I said they're going to have good defense, too. I didn't say that.
You keep saying that they need a scorer, but they got 2 of the top 7 scorers in the NBA.
Yeah, but they're
I
more
think
of,
LeBron, they need another playmaker right now.
they're more of down low. Yes, they probably do need a playmaker. Drew Holiday is not really the best guy. He is pretty good, but he is not that good.
Okay, the trade's obviously a plus, getting in another big man. It's going to be a great duo. It's going to remind me a lot of Kid Gilchrist and Davis back in the Kentucky days. Cousins was with Davis, but he wasn't as great in college. Kid Gilchrist and Davis is what it's going to remind me of. So what trade would you like to see happen that hasn't already happened?
Like I said before, I'd like to see Butler to the Boston Celtics. I feel like he's a great fit for that team. They do need a shooting guard with Bradley, who's a little shaken up.
Do you think that they need a scorer? Because they do have Isaiah. You think he's going to have to try to go into being a playmaker and Butler is going to be like the main scorer?
No, I feel like Isaiah will still be the main scorer, but Butler will just tack on some points also. It's always good to have more than one scorer on a team. And right now I feel like Isaiah is like the only like the main scorer. So if they have Butler, then they'll have 2 pretty good scorers just to make the team even better.
So do you think that they have any playmakers on that team?
Isaiah Thomas, I feel like, is definitely a playmaker. Second in points right now. Averages 6.5 assists. He's definitely a playmaker in my book.
So do you think that if they get Butler, they're going to be able to beat the Raptors now, Bray? Because you've been talking before how the Raptors are back. Are they going to be able to beat the Celtics?
Yes, I do think that the Boston Celtics would be able to beat the Toronto Raptors if they do get Jimmy Butler. Because Butler is a very good shooter. Thompson's a very good shooter. If Thompson goes in...
Where are we getting Thompson? Where are we getting Thompson from?
If Thomas goes in...
Oh, Isaiah.
Okay,
If Thomas goes in and he starts to be like a playmaker...
Zach says he's already a playmaker. He's not a playmaker right now to you, Thomas? Or Thompson?
Okay. The points means nothing for being a playmaker. A playmaker is being able to set up those plays, get assists. He's only averaging 6.5 assists. A playmaker is more on the 8, 7.
So who's a better playmaker to you then? So playmaker, you have to get assists.
Yeah, it's more of assists, not really points. It's not really points for a playmaker.
Okay, so then who's a better playmaker to you? Isaiah Thomas or a guy like Rondo who averages 9 assists?
Rondo, because he sets up plays. And he gets good passes off, and he finds those good shooters. That's what you need. You need a good playmaker to find your shooter who can score. But you can also have 2 shooters, but that maybe Isaiah can be the playmaker because he is the point guard and he can try to find Butler.
Okay, a trade I would like to see happen. Going more into the trades we'd like to see happen. I want to see Okafor leave the Sixers already. That team has way too much big men right now. They said they really want to keep Noel and Embiid together. I just want to see Okafor get traded, and a team I want to see him go to is a team like... I wanted to see him go to the Pelicans, but obviously I'd rather have Cousins. So now a team with a big man in need. I want to see him go to a team like the Lakers, a nice young team he could join in with. Mozgov, he sucks, let's be honest. They thought he was going to be big because he was on the Cavs and they won. But if you see Okafor go to a team like the Lakers with a bunch of young players around him, I think a team could develop into a nice future team. Bray, what's your trade you want to see happen?
My trade I want to see happen is probably going to be... I think that the Thunder, it would be good to have someone other than Russell Westbrook to be like the main shooter. He is very good. And I mean, Carmelo Anthony, like what team is he going to go to? I think that maybe the Bulls should get him because they can do like a three-way trade. They can trade Butler to the Celtics.
So who to where do you want to see happen?
Okay, I want to see Butler to the Celtics. Maybe the Knicks try to go for like a more younger like Marcus Smart to try to build up from like one of those young guys on the Knicks, and then Melo can go to the Bulls.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Melo to the Bulls would obviously be a great addition. He's a great shooter, and I think that'd be good to happen. But as long as they keep Butler, they get rid of Butler, it's like, what's the difference between Butler and Melo? Is it a huge difference? I don't really think it's a huge difference.
I feel like Butler would be a better than Melo. I don't know why the Bulls would acquire Melo but trade Butler, even though Butler is, I feel like he's a little better now, and he is a lot younger. So I feel like that would just be hurting the Bulls in a sense.
Okay, well, that will be a wrap for our trade podcast today. You could follow us on Instagram at Franchise Sports, and we're going to see you next time. Next topic, we're not sure on yet, but we'll post it on our account once we're aware. Turn on post notifications. You'll get the update once it comes out, and we'll see you next time.